Welcome back everybody, Matt the Man here, hope you're doing well. So this week, over the Thanksgiving holiday, we had the new movie from A24, Eternity. Now I was looking forward to this movie, I like the premise. I think the premise, the concept, is pretty genius. And I might be surprised that no one has ever came up with this concept before. What if, when you die, and let's say you were married once before, and the person you married died unexpectedly, and then you got remarried, and then you lived your entire life with that other person, but then when you die, you end up in like a limbo, and you can choose between your first husband, which once again, he died unexpectedly. It's not like, it was a divorce or anything like that. Or you spend eternity with your second husband. What would you choose? And I thought, that's an interesting premise. Talking about if I was sitting in a classroom, like I did in college, and someone had to say, alright, give me a tagline, give me a log line for your movie. You don't need to tell me the whole movie, just in one sentence. Girl dies, goes into limbo, has to decide between her first husband who died in the war, or her second husband, who she lived 67 years with. I would be like, ooh, I want to see that. And here we are, A24. There's a lot of interesting and original movies. So that's number one. You got a great studio who doesn't mind doing interesting ideas and concepts. You got a great cast in here with Elizabeth Olsen, Miles Teller, Devine J. Randolph, who won her Academy Award 2 years ago for The Holdovers with Paul Giamatti. And let's get into it. Positives. Miles Teller. I think Miles Teller is one of the best actors working today. Here it's no different. You really buy when we open the movie, we see the older couple, when they're still alive. And then of course obviously something happens and they die. And now they're in limbo. And I completely bought Miles Teller is that guy who's, 70, 80 years old, but now we're seeing the younger version, and that's the version that decided what he wants to live his life during that age, which was also a very interesting concept, I think. When you go into this limbo, you can be whatever age that you felt happiest in. And I thought that was also an interesting idea, because you do wonder that, You watch movies like Titanic. Let's just throw out Titanic. Where at the end, when they see the afterlife, we're not seeing older Rose with young Leonardo DiCaprio. That'd be a little weird. We're seeing the younger Rose, like she was when she was on the Titanic. And, you wonder that, if you did die, let's say you had your whole life, you died when you were older. What part of, if you had to choose what time in life you would want to look like, that would be that right there would be interesting. Some that were little boys or little kids still, and all kinds of stuff. And I thought that was also interesting. But getting back to Miles Teller, he's so good in the role, you believe him. The accent, just the mannerisms, his chemistry with Elizabeth Olsen was very good. I bought that. And he has the charm in moments, but he also gave me a little, because of the character, a little not uptight, but full of himself a little bit, but also not meaning that, what is it? Trying to think of the word. like, I don't know, but you buy him in the role. Also, Elizabeth Olsen, of the Olsen sisters. Once again, I've said this before. I didn't even know there was another Olsen girl sister in the mix until almost 2015 when she got cast in Avengers Age of Ultron. I was like, there's another Olsen? All these years in the 90s watching Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen in their direct-to-video movies, or It Takes Two, Holiday in the Sun, and there was another Olsen the whole time. What Elizabeth Olsen, what is great about Elizabeth Olsen is, yes, she did the Marvel thing, and I mean, even though I did like the character of Scarlet Witch, Wanda Maximoff, I never felt like they really did the character overall justice. We always got little snippets in each movie of her, but I never felt like we got a full, especially coming from Elizabeth Olsen, who outside of Marvel has done more independent movies, like her breakout role in Martha Marlene, or whatever. Martha May Marlene. She was great in that movie. That was her breakout role. And then she did a lot of other independent movies. So Marvel was like her first major thing. And then you look at other movies like Wind River, she was great in. Even the remake Old Boy with Josh Brolin, I thought she was good in. And once again, here she is great. She is phenomenal in this movie. Her chemistry with not only Miles Teller but Callum Turner. She can be emotional, romantic, bring a little charm and quirkiness to her. And I thought she did a great job. I mean, to me, she was the main draw of this movie walking out. You understand later in the movie when she's really trying to decide which one to live the rest of eternity with, her conflicting views. You just looked on her face without her saying a word, and you know she's conflicted with not having to say it. And I thought she did an amazing job. And I want to see Elizabeth Olsen do more of this type of stuff. Do your own thing, independent. Because she excels. Davine Joy Randolph, she plays like the, what do they call it? Kind of like the chauffeur, the host, not the host, but the tour guide in a way, who is assigned to a certain person, like their afterlife coach, their AC, that's what they call it, their afterlife coach, and she's assigned to Miles Teller, and she is hilarious. Her side comments are genius. Lately, she won the Academy Award 2 years ago. And that was more of a dramatic role, where this was showed more of her comedy chops, and I thought she did a great job. The movie is full of humor. This is a really funny movie. So not only do you get the romance part of the story and some drama elements, but you also get a comedy out of here too. So it really is a romantic comedy or dramedy. I was laughing throughout the whole movie, mainly in the dialogue. Also, this is a romantic film. There's a lot of romantic moments, even going on dates. For Elizabeth Olsen to decide, I haven't seen this one guy since he died in the war. And they also played on that, which war he was in, which is also kind of funny throughout. But, so you have where she goes on dates with these guys, has romantic moments. So it is a romantic movie, like I also said, the concept of the story I thought was genius. I like that. I'm surprised no one has ever thought of that idea or concept before. And it's also creative. There's a lot of creative stuff in the movie. Just the eternity or the limbo afterlife area is interesting. then how they flesh out certain things, very creative. Some of it reminded me of like in Beetlejuice, where Gina Davis and Alec Baldwin go into the afterlife in the Beetlejuice world. It reminded me of that, but not in the Tim Burton way, a more light, bright, colorful way. The only negative I really have with this movie is that I was loving this movie. Like, this movie this movie might still end up in my top 10 at the end of the year. But this almost made maybe my top 3. And the thing that brought it down was, at a certain point in the third act, you think the movie is over. You think, okay, they're wrapping up the movie now. Awesome. Then it goes on. Like, okay. Then it goes on some more. Like, okay. Then it goes on some more. Now, it's not like it goes off the rails. Not like they bring up something out of nowhere. And it's not like there's like a subplot or anything. It's just, it goes, and you think, okay, it's going to end here. Nope. Oh, it's going to end here. Nope. It's going to end here. No. It's going to end right here. Over here. Not here. Over here. And I thought for an hour and like 55-minute movie, or 50-minute, you're going to take about 10 minutes of the film. Easily. This should have been a great hour and 40-minute movie, hour 45-minute movie. Perfection. And yeah, I think they just dragged out that third act at a certain point too long. Overall though, I think this is a very good original movie. Excellent concept. You get the comedy, you get the romance, you get great performances out of Miles Teller and Elizabeth Olsen. I like Callum Turner in here. He is the other guy in the movie. I just feel like they don't give him too much to do. Unlike Miles Teller. But overall, I like it. I would give this easily a 4.8 out of 5. Like if it wasn't for the drag out third act, this would have been probably a 5 out of 5 for me. So let me know in the comments below. Did you like the movie Eternity? Did you feel like it dragged out for eternity? It almost felt like it. It almost lived up to that title. It is taken forever. But hey, if you gotta live it in eternity with Elizabeth Olsen, not bad. Not bad at all. Well, let me know. Did you see the movie? What did you think? Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment.